Hello and welcome back to Blue Tinted Glasses. And Neil, you thought I was going to be late there, didn't you? Just on time, mate. Just on time.
I was going to say, just nipped in there.
Yes, mate. Absolutely. It is Monday night, people, which means, of course, it's our favourite time of the week, other than when Leicester win on the weekend. It's time for the live call-in show. And Neil, mate, how are you doing today?
Very good. Well, look, that last 5 minutes, a lot changed. At one point in time, it looked like Ipswich were going to win, Leicester were going to lose, and there'd be 1 point in it. And then what a difference just a few minutes can make all of a sudden. Looks amazing. But the Reid Van Nistelrooy show continues.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Absolutely buzzing. I think there'll be some happy people, happy callers today. If you are new around here, this is how the live call-in show works. In the description of the video and in the comment section, just a second, I'm just about to put it in there. There is a link to StreamYard. And if you click that link, you can come and have your say about anything you want. I imagine a lot of it tonight will be about the game and Jordan Ayew, maybe Mavadidi, Bobby D. Cordova Reid. But you can talk about whatever you want. The transfer market, who knows how Rude's getting on. So just click that link. I've also now pinned it. So it is now pinned in the comment section. And this is what it looks like. Right. Well, luckily, as always, we're not short on callers. And as you can see on screen in the middle, there is one incoming already. Now, I believe Clibbo was first in today because I popped in a little bit earlier on. So I'm going to get Clibbo in nice.
I just saw someone else's reaction behind the screen when you said that. It was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, I can see him now. He's kicking off. Hey, simmer down, you. Simmer down. You know who you are. Right, here he is. Here's Clibbo. Hello, mate. How's it going?
Morning, boys. Afternoon. Sorry. Yeah.
Evening.
Evening. Yeah. No, it's great result, given the circumstances. But I want to touch on something you've been talking about, Lox, and that's my hatred for Wout Faes. I mean, I tried to like the bloke, but he just drives me insane. But he keeps bringing him on and using the word pace. So my question to you and Anil is, do you think he's working him back in gradually for those games where we really are going to need pace at the back, i.e. Manchester City and Liverpool?
Go on, Anil, you take it, mate.
Maybe. I mean, I think in both games he's definitely brought him on because there's been a proper reason to do it. So if you look at it, why did he bring him on yesterday's? Because Yakuba Minteh scores that goal and he exposed. I mean, to be fair, I think Christiansen could do better, but I think Rude realised, okay, I still want to go for it, but if I don't have someone fast at the back, we're going to get exposed. So Yannick's played well, nothing wrong with him again for the second game in a row, but I need to have someone who's got a bit more pace. And also, Wout can step up and be more aggressive to win the ball back. So it's like, okay, even if at that point in the game, you need to take risks. It's either we're going to concede a third or he's going to win the ball back immediately and it springs the attacks. I think that's why he's gone for that change. I think against West Ham, again, something similar. I pointed out in the analysis showed that they moved Bowen's position, so he started dragging wide and Vestergaard was getting caught out. So I think he responded to the game state well. So that's why I think he did it in that game. But to answer your question specifically, is he getting him ready for those games? He could be. I think it's more against Liverpool. Man City is kind of an interesting one. They're having a lot of the ball this season, but I don't think they're necessarily exploiting the space as well as they would be. So that's maybe... I mean, the thing is, we've got a Coley, but who would you trust, Clibbo? If you could choose, let's assume it's a high-pressure game, so it's against Liverpool, do you pick Wout Faes or Caleb Okoli if you have to pick between those two in the game?
I'd rather pick me than Wout Faes. To me, there's always a mistake in him.
I agree.
Like we've had maverick defenders in the past that you can forgive a mistake. It's always going to happen. It's more exposed as a defender and a goalkeeper. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But it's the constant blaming of others and not really accepting where he needs to make adjustments in his game. In terms of what we've got at the minute, I'm quite happy with that defence. It isn't, for me, it's just about strong enough to maybe keep us up. But I have to say, I've been really impressed with Cody's attitude. You know, he's come in, he's been out in the cold for pretty much two years. And I think Vestergaard, he's not quick over the ground, but I think his thought process is quite quick. You know, he just see where he needs to be.
I was going to say this though, Clibbo, because pace isn't everything. I mean, we talk about Vardy that it doesn't matter he's lost a yard of pace because his IQ, he knows when to make the runs. But the thing with Fass is, yes, the pace advantage he has over like Vestergaard. I mean, he loses when he steps about fucking 10 feet into midfield and then loses.
His position is bad.
He has to get back. Yeah, exactly, man. I don't buy. I don't care if he was. Remember Ahmed Musa? Do you remember him?
Yeah.
All year, no idea, mate. All that pace and for what? You know what I mean? So. No, I ain't bothered, mate. I would much rather a bit of footballing IQ, a bit of positioning over Fass's pace. And you know what, mate? If he was shit and he knew he was shit, I wouldn't mind so much. But he thinks he's sick, and it winds me up, man. It winds me up how good he actually thinks he is. It really, really winds me up.
He's not Alan Hansen, is he?
No. Clibber, mate, thanks for calling and getting your put across. Literally, all I'm hearing is bing, bing for people joining. We'll have to get
no worries
today, mate. All right. Cheers,
Have a great show.
Reece isn't here, so have some words with him. Some words with Reece. He's not here. See you in a bit, mate. Thank you so much. I know I've just given people nightmares now. Don't remind me of Musa. Well, just think back to happy times. His game against Barcelona. We thought we had the new Ronaldo on our hands or something, didn't we? It was crazy. Right. It's a good point, though. It's a very good point that Clibber brought up. So, more of them, please, people. Right, up next, it is Costa. He was kicking off because we didn't bring him on first, but here he is. Hopefully the audio is okay. Hello, mate. How you doing?
Is the audio okay?
All good.
I've got it working. I've got to be quick. I'm under pressure, Locke said. So, hi, guys. So, I'm still buzzing. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm still buzzing because of one change that our club did, and that's the change of manager, which in turn has transformed our beloved Leicester City. Let me see the smiles. Okay, Locks, whenever. Watching us play in our last two games, literally compared to you-know-who, has been a bliss. The players' enthusiasm, individual talent shining again, players' tactical awareness coming out, the teamwork and the chemistry with player-by-player effective communication, even Vardy's leadership shining again. We now have a team cohesive. Is that the word?
Yeah.
With cohesion. Yeah, that's the one. Fighting for each other, the badge and the manager. And I haven't even gone on about how good Reid is during the game. So putting all that in perspective, I know we can talk about tactics on, and we can talk about certain players that haven't performed, but just what I've just said now, we should all be smiling.
I agree. Mate, I agree. And you know what else is making me smile? What a wonderful Christmas tree you've got in the background.
Oh, that's the missus doing, and it had to be blue. That's my choice.
It's blue tinted. Some would say it's a blue tinted Christmas tree, mate.
Oh yeah, on that. Wait, don't go yet. I've got a surprise for you.
Go on. Oh, look at that. I love it.
Okay, that's the upgraded version we've got to get a hold of.
No, these were in a school fair at my son's school, and I went, I'm having them, and I don't care.
You've got like the Iron Man version of them. It's like
I love them. Do you know? I've got photos. I'll only send to you, Blocks, personally, because I don't know how to send to Anil. And you're quite lucky, Anil, because I do kind of pester Locks quite a lot. I've got one photo that I've sent to you today. I wouldn't mind you showing it. No pressure, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a massive prediction of mine for next season. And you lot are just going to laugh, but I did put that 50p when it was 5,000 to 1. Just saying.
Right, okay. I haven't got it, mate, so you'll have to send it to me again.
I'll do it again.
Send it to me, and if you do it in the next half an hour, I'll get it on at the end of the show, mate. All right.
Sounds like a plan. Anil, Locks, Good show.
Thank you, Costa. Mate,
Cheers,
much
Costa.
appreciated as always. Right, up next is, I think this is the right order. I'm 99% sure it is. So sorry, anyone, if I've got it wrong. Tyler, how you doing, mate?
Hey.
How's it going?
Good. Pretty good. A lot better after the last 10 minutes yesterday.
Yes, mate, absolutely.
it
I've got a stat. Sorry, Tyler. I've got a stat which I just read
Okay.
while Costa was speaking, and I want to put
Go
it out
for
there
it.
before you raise your point. And this is mental, right? So, Ruud van Nistelrooy has used 5 subs in each of the opening 2 games. 5 of those 10 have been made before the 65th minute, and 5 of Steve Cooper's 47 came before the 65 minutes. So what I'm trying to say here is Ruud's substitutions before 65 minutes has already matched Cooper's before the 65th minute, which is mental.
Yeah, no, that's I remember noticing that specifically during Cooper. I remember him noticing a lot more reactive than proactive on substitutions, and a lot more being very yellow card heavy in terms of that impacting his tendencies, not actually basing it off the flow of the game or the tactics or to actually to go win the match, but more worried about who has yellow cards. And so that's good. I mean, sometimes you do have to worry about that, but sometimes you need to just focus on the game itself. My question was, so I brought up something during the show at the end of the show yesterday, which was the concept of actual squad weaknesses versus Cooper inflicted squad weaknesses. And I want to ask you guys, which position do you think was a weakness 3 weeks ago that you won't think is a weakness in 3 weeks once the transfer window starts? And which ones do you think still are?
Go on, Anil, mate.
Oh man, put me on the tough spot. Okay, I definitely thought left
You had to
back
know it was coming.
Yeah. I definitely thought left back was a weakness. So I think I've been very impressed by Christiansen in the last 2 games, but I would say that I don't think Thomas is a suitable backup. So I think I would still go for a left back either on loan or maybe like a promising player that could take over next season or compete with Christiansen on that side. And I think for similar reasons, I think right back, I think Justin's looked much better in the last 2 games, but he's played all season long there. Ricardo's out for a while. I don't know how long Ricardo is going to be around for even. I don't know, he's with his career and stuff like that. He might fancy a move. So I think, but put it this way, I'm not sure if to answer your question, I'm not sure if that we need to have them or they're perceived weaknesses. I think it's more just like the attrition of the campaign. Honestly, after that, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think with Fatawu out, right winger would be good to have. But I think the issue is that if you get like a big money one, then how are you going to play Fatawu? So even that's a bit of a challenge. Maybe you could get someone on loan. I think we need just more coverage, but maybe compared to like when Cooper was in charge, I thought there was players that need to come into the first team immediately. I think centre back would have been the one that I called, and maybe that's still the one. If there's a really good one on the market, I would look at. So that's just my personal take. I can see the argument for several positions. What do you think, Locks, and you yourself, Tyler?
I'm going the same. Even when we had Cooper, I'm going right wing, centre back, right back. The left back, okay. I understand as well. I think it's up there, but it should be looked at. But I don't think it should be the priority over the other positions I mentioned. I mean, he's rubbish, right? But at least we've got Luke Thomas as a cover. Justin is the only right back currently. And McAteer is the only out-and-out winger, really, on the right-hand side. So I think they are the priorities for me, mate. What about you, Tyler? What are you saying?
So I think, for one, I think that obviously if we do get a right back, then your backup left back is now James Justin, which is good. So I think right back is the most important because obviously then you have one who can play one side, one who can play right, one who can play left, and then one who can play both.
Yeah,
ignoring Luke Thomas, but he still exists as well. So, but although I do probably expect him to get sold, or probably sold in January or something. It's probably best for him, like just his career. For right wing, we do have Reid, who is more of a right winger than a left winger. I do think that in January, if we are able to bring someone in, I think that Casey would crush it going somewhere like Sunderland on loan. I think that would be the best thing for him, like just in terms of his career. I think that would be really great for us also for our future if we can get somebody else. Center back, yeah, probably. Although, I mean, there is significant depth. Like we have four different center backs who've started games this year in the league. It's just, if you're going to get a center back, it probably needs to be somebody who's better than everyone we have, not just cover. Because we have cover, we just don't have a great one.
What about a left-sided centre back? Because that's what I would get if we could get one. I've said this before.
Probably would be ideal, because the only left-footed one I think is a Coley, even though Leicester has played on the left. I haven't thought necessarily about like a specific profile or like exact like details about who's out there a ton. However, I think that left-sided, left-footed would be definitely an option that would make sense.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I mean, loan-wise, I mean, we're going to send Edouard back. I think we know that's going to happen. That frees us up a space. I mean, there are pipe dream suggestions like Harry Maguire and Kiernan Dewsbury Hall and Harvey Barnes. Personally, I don't think any of them will happen. But do you think that's maybe we could look at?
I think he makes less sense with Reid than it would have if we still had Cooper, just based on the style of how each manager plays. If we still had Cooper, I think Kiernan would make more sense to loan back, but I think he's going to go somewhere like Villa.
I think the one that makes the most sense is Maguire. I think that's the one that makes the most sense. I do personally.
Can I throw one out here?
Go on.
There is a left-sided centre back.
Maybe a chair would say fuck off Maguire isn't ideal though.
Yeah.
I was going to say PSV have a left-sided centre back called Oscar Boscali, who is out of contract in the summer, and he was linked with Brighton in the summer. The one just passed, so I wouldn't be surprised. Cheeky loan or even a permanent deal. I think there are other PSV players, specifically their wingers, that would be amazing, but I don't think they would leave right now, because there's still a risk that we could go down. But I think because Boscali's like maybe in last contract territory as well. He's not that old. I think he's like 28. So there's my little hint that could be one for Stefan de Vrij. He's smoking crack.
Oh God, I remember the Stefan de Vrij rumors from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh man,
those
Botman. We don't get Botman.
What are we doing?
No, Manny gets like this. Don't just ignore Manny. Manny gets like this. He'll start linking us. He'll get Cambiasso out of retirement in a minute. Right. Tyler, thanks for clicking in, mate. Much appreciated. Hopefully you'll join us next week as well, mate. All right.
Of course. See ya.
Cheers, Tyler. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you so much. Come back to this video in a month's time when we sign Oscar Boscali. Boscagali. We'll have to learn it because we're going to sign him, apparently. Right, up next, I'm 99% sure again that this was the right order. It is Tom. He's been waiting a while. Hello, mate. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Loud and clear, mate.
Lovely, thank you. So, after yesterday's result, I think I'm treating it as a win, really, under the circumstances. So, my question is, and it's to do with our sister club, AH Leuven, and I was wondering, because it's our sister club, and we've had players from Leicester to go into that club. Why haven't we signed anyone from our club? I know that we're interested in a player called Ezekiel Bazouzi as our right winger to replace the injured Fatawu. So yeah, that's my question, because surely as a sister club, we should not only be developing our players, but perhaps we should be developing their players so that they can, get the step up to the Premier League. Yeah.
Anil, I mean, I'm going to start it off by saying I don't think there's anybody at that club that's good enough to play for us. I don't know about you, mate.
Well, this particular player that Tom is talking about is
I don't know him. I don't know.
Yeah.
You tell me about him. I don't know.
To be honest with you, I don't know that much either, other than when I loaded up a cheeky Football Manager save, his stats look quite good to me. Your scouts would definitely say good prospect or excellent prospect for the future. We wouldn't know till he gets here. I think to answer your question, Tom, I guess the the truth is, as Lox has said, is they haven't actually produced a player before now that's maybe been capable of the step up. Now, why we haven't done that, that's a different story, because Brighton are literally schooling us with this, right? Moises Caicedo played in Belgium for 2 years, where he wasn't even considered that good before he got brought over. I think Alexis McAllister played over there. Loads of their players they send over there. I've heard that the Belgian league's actually got quite a good percentage in terms of, if you do good in Belgium, you're most likely going to make it in the Premier League. And look, we just signed Bilal El Khanous, and he doesn't look too shabby either, does he? Doesn't work with all the players. There's definitely been some ones that haven't made it. Yeah, someone else just brought here Mandela Keita. I don't know who he played for, but was he at OHL as well? Not sure, but he has gone to Italy and done quite well. So look, we should be using it. Do you know what? It's funny though, because when we first did that deal with OHL, I felt a bit sort of sleazy about it though. Like, I really don't like this sort of like, oh, you're supporting the City Football Group or the King Power Football Group. It's like, come on, right? You want to support your team. And I don't mind if there's connections and stuff like that. But it's like, I wouldn't want to be one of their fans where you feel that like everyone's just getting, oh, if you get one good player, he's going to go to Leicester just like that. That's, I don't know. I feel I get it from a business point of view. I'm talking absolute rubbish. We should absolutely be doing that. That's the way to be a successful club, but I just can't stand it. So I don't know.
And didn't we do something dodgy with George Hurst?
Yes, we got round it that we'd have to pay compensation. So he signed for OHL. Oh, did he really? And then 1 year later, shock horror locks, you wouldn't believe this, but he transferred to Leicester City. Well, what are the chances of that happening? But you know what's funny about this Banduzi that you're talking about is that it'd be classic Leicester City fashion that only us could muck up signing a player from your own sister club, and you'll end up at Brighton or something like that.
Lower it's exactly what will happen. I can definitely see it. I have heard that he has been absolutely dynamite for the Dutch under-19s, I believe, and as well as Leuven. But I don't know, because I hope it's okay, but I disagree, because within the footballing context of, you know, how I suppose clubs are, you kind of need that development center to really try to like market to like, well, to market to other countries. Like if it does work, you can just create a cyclical cycle of like never-ending product, which then we could, you know, we've got this £100,000 training center. Like, that's the thing that really annoys me, because I don't think we're really utilizing it properly. You know what I mean? And
it's like it's a lad's holiday camp, mate. That's why it's a holiday camp for the players. That's why, mate. Yeah, or a hospital. One of the it's both, really, isn't it? A hospital as well. All the bloody ACL injuries that we end up with. No, I think you make really good points, though, Tom. Actually, I think it's something that I do wish, you know, because we've got Leuven, it would be good if it played more of a role, but it just doesn't seem to do that. I mean, who's the only one really? Nathan Opoku, do you remember? Remember him? He came through, like he played there for a bit, and that. But I think he broke his leg, and I don't know where he is now. Is he still at Leicester or ACL? ACL. Is he at Leicester?
Of course, it'd be an ACL. That's all you get from the King Power Group. It's an ACL.
Whose books is he? Is he on Leicester's books now? I don't know.
He is on Leicester's books. Okay. He is on Leicester's books. He's loaned to OH Leuven.
Oh, okay, there we go. So at least he's getting. I mean, we let Pearson take over there for a bit. We sent Andy King. Andy King was there for a bit. So at least, you know, at least it can be used as a retirement home, maybe. I don't know. Tom, thanks for clicking in, Tom. Much appreciated. We'll see you next week. Hopefully, mate. I'll see you next week. All right. Cheers, Tom. We have another caller. Just a couple of comments quickly. Costa says you should have sent Luke Thomas. Yeah.
Do you know what? I don't think that's that crazy a shout, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I mean, if these players that made it in the Premier League have played there, maybe you should go there. If he plays every single game, he's likely going to play well there.
They make it sound like a bloody camp in Siberia. Like, God, just send him over there. Send him over there for a bit. It'll be all right. That's funny. Anyway, just quickly as well, I'm going to show you the photo that Costa sent me, mate. Here it is. 2026. There we go. Right. Up next it's George. George reached out to me on X, and by the way, I welcome anyone to do that. Anyone who wants to take part in the calling shows or any other show, if you want to reach out to us, then please do. George reached out and I sent him the link, and here he is. Hello, mate. How you doing?
Lads. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. You?
Awesome, mate. Oh, he's making our backdrops look terrible.
I was going to say.
I know.
Yeah,
Well,
class.
that one's the
Yeah, that one's
valuable,
class.
I think,
Love it. Yeah.
lovely stuff, mate. How's everything? All right. How are you
Yeah.
feeling after the recent events with the managers and now the back-to-back points?
Yeah, very optimistic. I mean, it's been awful, hasn't it, under Cooper? Let's not like beat around the bush. I mean, yes, we probably could have got a win against Palace when we got screwed over with the offside decision, but pretty lackluster. He wasn't confident at all, was he, with his tactics or anything? But anyway, that's the past now. We can forget about him. We look like a new team. Like, I think he's got the mentality and the players right from the get-go, and they're actually trying. Like Samare, yes, we saw a good few flickers when he played against Man U in the cup, and then I can't remember, it might have been them in the league maybe. Oh no, and then the Ipswich when he came on against Ipswich as well. But he was class. I was at the game, and him and Ndidi had they just link really well together. Like they're just playing like 1-2s and that. And I think because I was expecting like Winks. Yes, obviously he's injured, but to play that where Samare is now. But I don't see Winks getting in. I don't know how Winks can get in over Samare now. The way he holds the ball up, he's faster than Winks. He's more physical.
Yeah,
he's better in the challenge. He's like a complete midfielder, whereas Winks is just like your Bob standard, like sit back and pass the ball side to side. And I don't think Winks is really good enough to do there's all that nonsense about Gary Neville saying he's good enough to play for England or get a grip. But yeah,
whilst you're talking about the midfield, I mean, what do you think happens this weekend? Because Ndidi's injured and Samari's suspended. So who do you want to see in midfield?
Well, it's going to be Skip, isn't it? Because he's probably the most similar sort of player who'd fit in that defensive role in front of the two centre-backs, giving them protection, which I think we've missed. I think we lost that role under Cooper. And now that Reid has brought that back, I think we're going to see less, let's say, defensive errors or counter-attacks going against us. Because I think that's where we conceded most of our goals. Just like massive gaps between the centre mids and the centre backs. And then you're looking at Faz and Okoli, which I don't know, they're not ideal. I think Okoli, I'm surprised Okoli's been dropped the way he has been. I was expecting him to bring in someone like Cody or Vestergaard to play alongside Okoli, just to give him, more experience and probably teach him a few things. Because I think Faz, I'm with you, Lox, is I hate him. He's big-headed. He's big-headed. He makes the most defensive errors. Some of the stats, he's like the most defensive errors leading to goals for outfield players in the Prem. It's like stats don't lie. And I don't think he was very good in the Championship either, even when we got promoted. Now that's my opinion. I think he's a Championship player at best.
He definitely had. He definitely had some errors in him, didn't he, in the Championship? And to be honest with you, they were very similar errors to what they were now. I mean, I can't remember what game it was now. I want to say it was Hull. Away. He messed up badly in that one. Yeah. No, the other one. That was the home game. You're thinking of the away game. That was
where it deflected off him. But I know the one you're talking about with Fabio Carvalho. Yeah, he got in early.
Yeah. So
I don't think we need to spend much time talking about how we don't like Wout Fast. That's for sure. I think, to be fair, Okoli, he was injured for the first game against West Ham. I think yesterday he could maybe have played, but I'm guessing that Reid said it's a winning team. I don't want to change a winning team, and I don't think you can really. Maybe for the second goal, you could say Cody was a bit at fault, but I think that's being harsh. Like he went for a slide, put himself on the floor to try and block off it. I think that's meant a good play rather than Cody playing badly. So yeah, look, I think that's good. But I think a lot of people were saying in the chat, you yourself, it's great to have Reid. I think the players clearly respect him. Coming onto your point in Samare, I mean, he's completely a changed man, isn't he? It's amazing, really. And do you know what I'm starting to think more and more, actually, though, is that when you buy these young talents, even if they don't come up and, right away, more and more often you're noticing that they do turn out to be good. Like I've noticed this with Chelsea as well. Like Chelsea signed all these young players, and a lot of them to begin with honestly looked awful. Now you get it, not every transfer can work out, but like you see them this season, even players like Vardy and Enzo Fernandez look properly good. And what I guess I'm saying with Leicester is that, like, personally, I'll be honest, I had already written off Christiansen, Daka, and Samari. I thought they were all right, but I thought, you know what, I just don't think they're Premier League, because it happens, right? We signed Adrian Silva a few years ago, great in Europe, never looked like he'd make it in the Premier League. But now, all of a sudden, obviously, it's taken them all a bit of time to adjust. But isn't it funny that they've all started to look quite good? And now you're thinking, well, hang on a minute. Do you know what? Maybe we should be signing these young players, because they might not work immediately, but when they do come off, whereas if you sign an older player and they don't come off, you're in big trouble, right? Because you can't shift them off the books. Anyway, I don't want to derail you, but I think
it's just the difficulty of how good the Prem is, like the standard.
Yeah.
I think it takes any half-decent young player who's got potential to be world-class a few years to acclimatise themselves to the pace and the physicality of it. I think that's just how it is. And like you said, Chelsea's a good example. With a few of their players, taking time. Like Enzo Fernandez was like given the captaincy pretty early on. Like he's not been there long at all. And I don't know if is he still captain there now?
He is, yeah, he is.
Yeah. So he's filled big boots to sort of like turn that around. But Christiansen, I agree. I think he was poor this season we went down, but I think it was a tough environment to go straight into. It's not like we were a top 6 team pushing for Europe and he's like easing his way in. We were in a relegation scrap, and sometimes you need experience to survive the relegation scrap.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think Christiansen was one of the better players when we went down.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, it was just the best of
there
a
weren't
bad
many.
bunch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There weren't many good ones that year.
Yeah, exactly. But look, I think there was a funny comment on the instant match reaction yesterday, Neil. I think it was on the instant match reaction, and somebody said, "Can we really handle all these redemption arcs?" And it's true. Like there's just
that
so
was
many
Tyler.
of them.
That was a wicked.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So
I don't see the Daka redemption arc happening.
Well, I don't know.
If Reid says he thinks he can get a tune out of Daka, watch this space. Is all I've got to say.
Well,
absolutely.
he said for
Reid knew a thing or
PSV
two about scoring them goals, didn't he? So
Daka could do something for PSV. I can see that, but in the Prem, no, not for me.
We'll soon find out. George, mate, thanks so much for clicking in, mate. I'll send you the link
Thanks,
again,
guys.
of course. But thanks for clicking in, mate.
Bye.
Cheers to George for reaching out. Right, next up, it is time for the entertainment. Get your popcorn ready, everybody. he's probably no. See, you know what's awkward here now. Manny thinks I'm talking about him. It's not you, Manny. It's not you. You're soon though, Manny. You're soon. You're very soon. It is Ross first. He's been waiting the longest. Ross, how are you, mate?
All right, say his name and he appears. Thank you. Do you know what? Before I was actually fast asleep until about 5 to 7, and I set my alarm just so I could get on this show.
Dedication.
Well, I've got my electric blanket on. I'm proper freezing in a minute, so cold.
Right, so, Ross. Every time you're on, you sit on the fence about something, mate. So take the splinters out your arse. What have you got for us today?
What have I got for today? I mean, obviously, I don't hate Faz, but he's awful. But people said about preparing for him. Do people forget what happened last time we played Liverpool in the Premier League at Anfield? He decided to score goals for Liverpool.
Twice, yeah.
Twice. I mean, the second goal you can't do anything about. Come on, but the first one, I mean, I don't usually stick up for Wade Steeler here, but he clearly shouted for the ball. And the next minute, Faz decided just to, do you know, I'm going to kick it. And it goes in the back of the net.
Wade Steeler Ward, yeah.
Yeah. You got to think that what I was on about then.
Well, that season, mate, there were a few, weren't there? Let's be honest. There were a few.
The thing is, that game, we were 1-0 up in the first minute.
I know. We were playing really... I think we only conceded in the 40th minute or something as well. It was surreal...
Yeah.
Was that Dewsbury Hall? Did he score?
Yeah, he scored in the first minute. Yeah. And then, obviously, Faz decided to be a Liverpool striker. And every time he got the ball in the second half, they're all going, shoot.
we didn't deserve to lose that game, you know.
No, honestly, that game, in a way, cost us staying up.
Yeah.
in a way. But yeah, all right. So obviously that was about 5. I mean, we might as well just send him to OH Lyon, if I'm honest. He's Belgium. It's a Belgium league. You know, he might do well. But no, do you know what I think yesterday? I mean, I thought Brighton are a very good side. You know, I think it's always going to be tougher than West Ham. But obviously, a great comeback. And Jamie Vardy, obviously, Vardy's himself. And, you know, he's 9 goals away. I really, I don't know if anyone's seen comments on Twitter about a certain Michael Owen said about Jamie Vardy. But I tell you now, when Vardy gets over the 151 goals, is it, or something?
And Neil, have you heard these comments from Michael Owen?
He says it all the time. For some reason, Owen's such a bellend. I can't believe that someone who at one point was like the darling of the English media, that everyone loved him, was such a jerk. Like, I think the honest truth is he knows that Owen's irrelevant, whereas Vardy is a legend and is just like Vardy's what Owen isn't. Vardy, away fans, they might boo his name, but you ask any away fan, they love him, right? Even the Brighton fans, is part of the game. One of the reasons teams like playing Leicester is that away fans like shouting abuse at him.
They love it,
and,
don't they?
But they all say, I've heard this so many times leaving the ground, like the away ground. I've just heard them say, fair play to him, you know, he's a prick, but he got us. You know,
Well,
he's dealing with it all game long, and you know he's going to get he got. Like, I remember I watched that when he did the Eagle. I was at that game for the Palace one, and afterwards they were obviously in a foul mood, but they were like, "What can you say? He's there, Ian Wright. He's a legend, you know."
It's because he doesn't discriminate. He does it to all of them. So like he'll do it to the Liverpool fans, and the Everton fans will be loving it. And then he'll do it to the Everton fans, and the Liverpool fans will be loving it. And then he'll do it to the Arsenal fans, and the Tottenham fans, and the City fans, and United fans. He doesn't discriminate. He just is. And you know what, mate? I saw a tweet the other day, and it's just so true. It was like, I think the tweet was just very simple. It just said, I don't know what I'm going to do when Jamie Vardy is not at Leicester City anymore.
Well, so basically, Sean's comparing him to The Rock. Fair enough. But here's one. This could be for a different title.
Ego Ross.
Yeah. He's hated by every club he's played for. Let's be honest. Played for Liverpool. Then he went to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Then he got injured for about pretty much every time. Then he went to Man United. But he didn't want to go Man U, apparently. He wanted to go Liverpool, but Liverpool didn't want him. But enough about him. This is for another show, right? I don't anything. Out of all the goals Vardy scored so far, what is the top 5 celebrations that he's done?
Well, let's do it now and say the one. What is the number 1 celebration?
See, personally for me, it's the corner flag.
Yeah.
Because it's against Sheffield United. He's a Sheffield Wednesday fan. But in front of fans, it's the one at Bramall Lane. It's still at Sheffield United.
Because you know what mine is? You know what I'm going to say mine is?
Rock
mine
and roll
was
guitar?
No, it's Bristol City last season because
when he ran that.
he kicked off, let's be honest, he kicked off his Leicester career in the Championship. Goes to the Premier League, wins the Premier League, gets the Golden Boot, gets in the Premier League 100 club, wins the FA Cup. And then he thinks, fuck it, let's go back down to the Championship. And he does it again. And he runs the whole length of the pitch and does that. And that was my favourite because it was kind of like as well, because obviously he had a really bad season the year we went down, goals-wise. What was it, like 4 or 5 goals? And it's like, you know, a lot of Leicester fans, I think I said it at one point, yeah, he's finished. But then
I said that.
In the Championship season, Dako, Iheanacho, they were both in the team quite a bit. But Vardy, when we needed him, he's there, mate, and he's scoring all the goals. And I still can't believe. Did you know that last season was the best goal-to-minute ratio of his whole career? His whole career. Last season was the best goal-to-minute ratio, yeah.
Do you know he's already scored more this season than when we got relegated last
time? Here's another one. I nearly said something else, but Neil. I nearly got my words mixed up then.
Neil.
Yeah, Neil. So Vardy, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, has scored more Premier League goals this season than that geezer at Tottenham, that slinky geezer up front, who got £65 million apparently.
Yeah.
And a few other strikers put together and stuff like that. But yeah, they're in my opinion, the top 3. Sheffield United, both of them, the corner flag and the of the years. Again, I've been from Sheffield and stuff. I love rubbing it in their faces. It's hilarious. And I'm going to say the West Brom one. There's loads of West Brom ones.
Yeah,
when
the
he's
one
like,
again.
The goal of the season, where it obviously Mahrez. That's one thing I want to bring up in just a quick second. When Vardy did that volley, and then you see the fans go, like you can see it perfect. But someone touched it earlier about a winger. The return of Mahrez.
No, it won't happen. Oh, it won't happen. It won't happen.
Right.
Well, we'll have Manny on shortly, and he'll tell us about how we're going to sign Dewsbury. That won't happen either. I'm telling you, it won't happen.
I mean, we might as well sign. I mean, we've got N'Golo Conte. We might as well bring back and Dewsbury.
Do you remember there was a rumor in the summer, weren't there, about Mahrez? It came out like at the start of the season, like, Mahrez is in
his
talk.
wife hates it where they live. I mean, that Amazon Prime documentary, and his wife is not a fan.
Yeah, well, I bet she's all right.
I
bet she's okay. I bet she's
I
okay
could see him
with
on
50
loan,
million quid.
I know you've got a couple of calls, but just before I go, on Saturday, if anyone's going to Newcastle United away, which I'm going to on Saturday, if you see a guy with a bald cap and a wrestling suit on, that is me. Because I'm going. It's my old work due the same day, so I've decided I'm going to go dress as Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I've got the ball cap as well. It got the ball cap. I've got the pads, everything ready for
Look out, everybody! Look out for Stone Cold Steve Austin on St James's Park on the weekend, mate. Ross, thanks for calling in, mate. Much appreciated. See you very soon. Okay, no more callers. That's the cut-off. Bam. We've got a few callers waiting, so no more callers. That's the cut-off. If you missed it, next Monday. Right, up next, quickly. Where is he? There he is. Hasselhat, how you doing, mate?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, got you loud and clear, mate. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm dying from the cold, that's what.
Well,
brilliant weekend.
Yeah, mate, I was going to say, what you got for us today, mate? What you want to talk about?
Just the impact on how Ruud's just come in, and we've gone from on the week before losing 4-1 and to now having 4 points on the table against two tough teams.
Yeah, what do you? Well, sorry, mate. Sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say, because it's a comment that I've seen quite a lot recently, is how much you think is down to Ruud and what Ruud's doing, and how much you think is down to maybe just the players with the bounce, if that makes sense, the new manager bounce.
I think it's a lot due to the players' new bounce as well, mostly because of how short time Ruud's had it. I think he can't really implement his game plan in like 2 days before West Ham game, can he? So
probably not. Yeah. I mean, well, what do you think, Anil? I mean, you're definitely confident that he, tactically there was an impact there, but I mean, it's early days still, isn't it?
I'm more optimistic on that. I mean, I did it in the analysis. I think he's done quite a few things, but I think it is fair to say that, like, the players obviously respect him, so they're actually doing what he's telling them to do, and they've performed it. And like, you could definitely see, like, what was really good is even when we were 2-0 down against Brighton, didn't really feel like the team gave up, right? They kept trying, and as soon as they got the first goal back, you just saw, like, the crowd felt it as well. There's that much more of a connection. The players were bouncing and trying, and they're throwing themselves into challenges. So yeah, I think he's definitely made a big impact, and about time, because there's no way we would have got 4 points from those teams under Cooper. I think we'd have got probably smashed both games, and the table's looking so much better. So thank God he's in.
Yeah, and it's how late we've left him in most of the games. It's like a different change from when we went down, because when we played United, when we lost 3-0, I thought we played well the first half, and then we came out the second half and got thrashed. But this time we felt like the team doesn't give up anymore. So it's like what Enzo's done with the Championship, where we haven't been able to give up and fight for the win. But I don't know. Well, it's a different change.
What do you make to Hasselhoff? Because we can't just ignore the fact we did have 2 very good comebacks against Ipswich and Southampton as well, and that was under Steve Cooper. We did have them comebacks, albeit though down to 10 men. I will add that. Obviously, that is a bit of context there.
Yeah, just ruin our moment. Why don't you? But no, it shows that even with Cooper, we were willing to fight in games, but his game plan was just shit.
Yeah, we were handicapped, weren't we? Really, from minute one. It's just, I don't know about you, Hassan. Mate, I'm just happy. Are you happy? I think a lot of us are happy.
I tried to defend him when we had him, because I thought we treated him a bit harsh here. But then when we sacked him, and then I look back, I've gone, Yeah, we should have sacked him before.
Mm.
What? I'm an idiot. Why did I defend him?
Yeah. Why did you defend him? Hasselhat, mate, thanks for clicking in, mate. Much appreciated. We'll see you next Monday as well, pal. All right.
Yep, see ya.
Cheers, mate. Thank you so much. Right. Up next, here he is. Here comes the money. Money. Here we go. What's going on, man?
What a difference a week makes. 168 little hours.
So, welcome to the BTG musical, everybody. Welcome.
That's how you feel at the moment, though, isn't it? It's all smiles, it's positivity. I mean, even if we'd have lost 2-0 on Saturday, if you actually watch the game, we were forward facing. We were trying to go for it. We were on the front foot. We were having a go. I don't think anybody would have complained even if we'd have lost. So it wasn't just a one-off game. It's more than that. The feeling is back. Everything feels connected. We're all behind him. Even those people who did defend Cooper, they know now. It's clear. We can see the difference. It's night and day.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've noticed, both of you, I'll come to you first, Anil. I don't know if you've noticed that already there's some backtracking in the media after they all were like, oh my God, they sacked Cooper and they weren't in the bottom three. What are they doing? They're backtracking already.
Good, because and I think, do you know what's helped us? The fact that Ruben Amorim at Man United's got off to such a terrible start, although I think that's not necessarily his fault. You know the thing I love, I don't know if you've seen it though, is after we scored that second goal, do you see he ran up to the crowd and he even hugged someone in the crowd? I love seeing that. Like, the people are behind him, which is good. But he is genuinely doing a good job. And as per Manny's point, I think he's bang on to say that, do you know what? If we'd have lost that game 2-0, honestly, my analysis would still have been, I think, actually, for most parts of the game, we were even the better team. And basically, we've got done because fair play to Brighton. They've got excellent players. And so in these two moments, both the goals were really good. The second one, maybe we could do a bit better. But I still think that shows you that guy's got a lot of pace, really quick feet. And it's a great finish from him. The first goal from Tariq Lamptey, I mean, fair play. When he scored that, all I could say is fair dues, right? You like seeing a good goal, even if it's against your team. So that was good. Otherwise, I think we didn't create so much, but then in the end we did. But I still think we had more possession than Brighton did in both halves. And it wasn't just like possession for the sake of it. Like we were moving the ball up the field. So I was impressed. But yeah, having it felt like a win. And the Ipswich result to compound it was excellent. And the fact that he's done this in just 8 days, very impressive. And as we've been saying, he's got a whole week now before the Newcastle game. Newcastle not in the best of form. So, you know what? A few weeks ago, I'd have thought no chance. But I think it'll be tough. But I think we could get something from that game. I don't know what you think, Manny.
The faith is back. The belief is back. And that's half of the hurdle, isn't it? You've got to go there believing you can get a point or get a win. And we were entering to every single game for several in a row, just thinking, well, we'll do well to sneak a point, if at best. And all of a sudden, the intensity, the speed, the desire, the hunger, the fight, the players are up for it. The crowd are up for it. Rude's hugging people on the touchline. He's hugging fans. He's pumping his fist. There's emotion. It's all connected. It feels like we've got our club back. And for those people who, remember we used to have the endless debates about Cooper in, Cooper out, this is the difference that we were missing, that feeling of belief and faith. And I'm going into Newcastle optimistic with belief, even though we're going to be losing, our entire midfield for one game. I just believe that players like Bobby Reid, all of a sudden he can come in. He's looked good in the 2 substitute appearances. Patson's looked good. Those peripheral players who we were thinking, not really convinced. Victor wasn't playing well. JJ wasn't playing well. We were having these discussions about the fullback struggle. Nobody's struggling at the moment. Everybody's looking good. Everybody's feeling good. And the fans are included. And there is unity. We're at one again. And that's when we're at our best.
Yeah, sorry, I just got anxious there because Costa says he's got a Christmas present. I hope it's not a lump of coal. Manny, I want to ask you something. And I'm asking you because feel free to slap it out at me if I'm being silly with this right now. But I was in the car today and I was driving home and I actually just took a moment. And I think now is probably a nice time to do it. Just to take a moment. I had this weird feeling upon me, right, that I felt quite bad for Steve Cooper and for what happened with him because now it's done and it's it's never happening again. I kind of think Reid has got something that Cooper never got from minute one, and that's the fans were behind him from minute one, and it wasn't the case with Cooper, rightly or wrongly. And I feel quite bad that he was just always fighting that uphill battle, and it just ended in tears.
I wouldn't feel too bad for him, but I know what you mean. On a personal level, I didn't like, I've mentioned to you, I don't like the personal criticisms of individuals. He's a very nice human being, Steve Cooper. He's got a family. If you were his kids and you were listening to some of the stuff that was being spoken about, I find it distasteful myself. But everybody has an equal opportunity, and this is a meritocracy we live in. If he'd have done an excellent job, if he'd have said the right things, done the right things, picked the right teams, managed the players properly, then we'd all be behind Cooper like we're behind Reid. But there is a clear difference in just quality of execution. That's the only thing. If it was the reverse and we started the season with Reid and he was stinking the place out and Cooper had come in and done what Reid had done, it would have been the reverse love. It's never personal. It's just business. We just want what is right for our club, and we have a very intimate knowledge of our squad, of our club, of our style of doing things. And there was nothing. That Forest narrative is a very lazy narrative. O'Neill, Wes Morgan, it's got nothing to do with Forest whatsoever. If he'd have walked in and won his first 3 games, we would have all been going absolutely bananas, wouldn't we? But no, I wouldn't feel too sorry for him. 2-3 million quid payoff before Christmas time it's not this. I don't feel too sorry, mate. And he'll find himself, a job in Championship soon enough. And he'll have his opportunity to. Thanks, Terry. He'll have his opportunity to get the next team back up, and maybe he can build something again. But for Steve Cooper, not that I can't believe we're still talking about him. It's not really what I want to do. He could learn a lot from how Reid has very quickly turned things around with exactly the same squad. If he looks at it with a fine-tooth comb, he'll realise the little details that Reid has done to bring it all together.
Yeah, I agree with you completely, Manny. Manny, mate, thanks for calling as always. Hopefully,
cheers, boys.
We'll see
Great
you
show as
very
always.
soon, mate. Thank
Well
you so
done.
much, Manny. Cheers, mate. Thank you so much. Right, we're on to our last 2 callers. Remember, no more call-ins. Thank you. Next week we'll start again. Costa, I've just checked my DMs for some kind of gift. I thought you were going to Photoshop something crazy for me again to bring up, mate. I haven't had anything yet. Costa loves emailing people. He did tell Top in an email he should apologize to Cooper for hiring. It wouldn't surprise me if that happened, by the way, Neil, if they did say, like, we're so sorry for putting you in this mess, because that's what they did, in my opinion.
That's the one thing you can have sympathy for him, is that he should never have got the job in the first place, and clearly Top was never convinced. So anyway, it is what it is. Let's not talk about him. It's gone. It's yesterday's news.
It is indeed. It is indeed. Right, up next is our favourite Duck. It's LCFC Duck, all the way from Denmark. How you doing, mate?
How you doing, guys? No, it's great weekend. I was home, with my family, saying hello to them over the Christmas period, and got to watch a game with my dad for the first time in ages. So that was a pleasant experience. I've realized he's actually becoming quite a Leicester fan himself. You can really feel he's also starting to get the passion for the boys.
It's normally meant. It's meant to be the other way around, isn't it? That the dad passes it down to the son.
But I mean, I've passed it to my granddad. I've passed it down to my dad as well. It seems, and we had a great time enjoying the game. Thought it was a great game of the year. I thought it was a good game. Just before I get more into that, though, like you just touched upon, messaging Steve Cooper, apologizing for hiring him. Small little anecdote that did actually happen in Denmark about half a year ago with a club in the best Danish division, Lyngby. They hired a coach from Faroe Islands, and he came in, like, he's the guy who got classically to the Conference League, right? And he was like this big. The new coach just got poached by a Belgian team, so they had to get this just right. And they were so certain about this guy. 1 month in, they fire him. And they publicly apologize, saying, guys, we got this wrong. We are sorry to him. We are sorry to the club. We're sorry to everyone involved. We are the ones who screwed up here, and we truly apologize. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of the same that happened here, right? It was a mismatch. I wish Cooper the best in the future, but I'm happy to see the club did act early.
Yeah. You've been hyping up Victor Christiansen for a while now, Doc. And Nils, I think, on the hype train with you as well, mate, from the sounds of things. But what did you make to him on the weekend, mate? I thought he was good again.
Yeah, I thought he was good. Not as standout or as flawless as in the West Ham game, worth mentioning. The Brighton team is a lot better, right? It's a team that is fighting for Europe right now, so it's a very tough squad to go up against. The thing is, I don't get how I still see slander on him about on Twitter. Like, how do you people still not have turned over to this? He's got the passion, he's got the energy, he's fighting for the badge. You can see it. He's running every mile like it's his last. Like he's really giving everything every game. And although he doesn't make every decision correct, yes, he plays well. I thought he played well 80% of the game. He had 20%, but he had a few bad balls. And I mean, I don't really blame him for the Yankuba Minte goal. I thought Yankuba Minte did brilliantly there to get the finish across, and Christiansen did what he could really. But I thought he had a good game. I'm very disappointed to see people still hating on him. I just realized as well, seeing his post on Instagram today, he's got the comments disabled, or at the very least limited, who's able to comment. And I don't know how we could give a guy who's so clearly happy to be here, fights week in, week out to retain his starting spot, and runs every mile like it's his last. Like I think that's what we need in a relegation season, someone who will fight until the very end. And I'm very happy with how he's performing.
Yeah, what do you make to that, Anil? Do you think he does get a bit of unfair stick, Christiansen? Because I think he's been one of the better players in the first 2 games under Reid.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he's getting stick for these 2 games, because he's been a class act in these 2. I think previous in the season, maybe you could say that most of that stick was coming from me, to be fair, because I was calling him out in quite a few performances. For me, I think the biggest thing is though that I think Reid's got into him, because the biggest thing I notice is he's way braver and he's going forward. Like he's not passing it inside anymore. He's going for the ball down the line or driving with the ball, or he's joining in with the attack. So I think that's really good. I'll be honest with you. What I was struggling to see with him is how he fits into a modern Premier League team. Because if he was going to be used, I need to see the fullback getting forward, playing those crosses in and driving up and down. I don't think he'd really been doing it. But these last 2 games, he's been one of the best attacking players. That's the biggest difference, I think. I don't know if you saw, but Mavadidi's even started passing the ball to him. And I think it's actually because he's actually recognizing that he saw him. I even noticed against this game against Brighton, he wasn't going to do it. So he didn't pass it to him. And in the next attack, Christiansen got it and didn't play it to Mavadidi, but he got a cross in. And I'm pretty sure Mavadidi was like, do you know what? That cross wasn't that bad. And so the next time he got the ball, I'm not making this up. The next time he got the ball, he actually played it to Christiansen, and Christiansen did do a cross, and it was an okay cross. So look, I think if those 2 combine, that's very good. So look, he's got
I'd love to see it.
But as for my point I made a bit earlier in the show, I just think that these young players, I think that's the big thing, is that even if they start off slow, it's unlikely that they're going to go backwards. They'll probably gain in value and get better. So he's starting to look very good, you got to say, and a connection between. The only thing I don't like is why did he put Ayew in front of him? That didn't work for me at all.
He was horrible. Yesterday. I think he dropped quite a stinker, to be honest. My dad very quickly wanted him off. Very disappointed when he didn't go off at half time as well. What I will say is as well, one of the big things that obviously, like, we defend a lot better, we defend a lot narrower. I think there's so many positives you can analyze, but just looking at the grand scheme of things, in the past 10 games with Cooper, you'd be sitting there complaining about the way we concede our goals. We've conceded 3, like the goals we've conceded on the route have been all very good goals. A great corner routine from West Ham, a brilliant finish by Tariq Lamptey, and I thought that Cooper Minte had a moment of brilliance there as well. He was obviously, just going to say, red tinted glasses here as well. Danish Super League, a product from Odense Baltic, the city I live in now, scouted him a few years ago, and then he instantly went to the top. Brilliant player, him as well. But that's what I'm saying, right? It's 3 goals we've conceded in 2 games, yes. But it's a brilliant work corner routine, a great shot, and Yankuba Minte just going absolute beast mode in for 30 seconds. Like, we haven't conceded these goals where you're so frustrated that why are we defending like this? Why is Wout Faes trying to scissor kick the ball away while defending? Like, all of these annoying mistakes that are like, why are we costing goals to this? That's not happening anymore. And you're gonna concede goals every now and then when you're playing against good teams like you are week in, week out in the Premier League. And you can obviously sit there and nitpick small things that could be changed at every goal, but we aren't seeing these glaring flaws anymore. And in just a week's time, that is a brilliant change.
Do you think that point from Ragsy is true, that he missed out on that year of development under Enzo? Because in my opinion, I think he would have been a better player had he stayed with us.
I think I see your point. I think some parts of his game probably would have been better under Enzo, like playing up from the back and his defending as well, most likely. But what he did do at Bologna, he got quite a few assists. He was very
I did.
So he got to hone his attacking skills, right, and play to his own strength. So I think he's probably gained more there. I think it's either he would have gained defensive stability under Enzo, or he would have lost the offensive abilities that he's earned on. I believe it was Thiago Motta in Bologna right before he got poached by Juventus, right? So I think it's a bit of both. You can make the argument for both things. I think that his development certainly was treated fairly under Bologna. He got a lot of playing time there, tasting success again, qualifying for the Champions League. We have a prospect in him. I don't think we need to give up on him, and I think that's a keynote I noticed you guys talked about earlier, right? A lot of these young players, they do take some time to settle into the Premier League. We're seeing Boubakary Samari look like the region of Yaya Toure finally after all these years. I want to see more of these talents come through, and I would really love to see some of our own soon. Like when Sonny Braid will come back next year, or
Danish
Albus or
Super
whatever.
League, left-sided centre-back. Tell me who we should sign.
Oh, that's left-sided centre-back. I mean, there isn't a Danish Super League talent that is absolutely firing up the league. Who we can clearly see is a level above. There are some great talents in there currently.
Right, what about a right-back?
Our right back might be even harder. We just sold our good right back talent from Copenhagen to Galatasaray this past window. So the new guys have just been brought in. They'll need some time to adapt. But there is like a Mexican that FC Copenhagen just bought, Rodrigo Huescas, very offensive as well, who is seems to have talent, but he needs more time, even just for the Super League. So by no means yet.
What about right winger, Andreas?
Oh, right wing. I mean, in the attacking department, there are some quality players. FC North
could Leicester City. Could Leicester City sign? I think he's injured, isn't he? Rooney.
Rooney Bardi.
I want him. I want him.
He is great. I think if you're looking for right wings, there are very good options in the Danish Superliga. Rooney Bardi's contract is out, or Rooney Badakji actually is the way you pronounce it. Is running out this summer. It takes quite a lot to get used to. He was very specific on how you had to pronounce it, and the A isn't there as well. It's very weird. But just to shortly summarize this, his contract is running out in the summer. I hope he signs a new contract, gets half the season more with Copenhagen to get back into the thick of things. Because even when he was brilliant, it was in spells. He's very hot and cold, but you can clearly see there is a gem in there. But another talent that we had been interested in before, Dario Osorio, who from Chile.
Yes.
We waited him quite a few years ago. He's now playing for FC Midfield and playing regularly. He loses his head every now and then. Has gotten actually quite a few red cards, but he's also scored some absolutely magnificent goals.
Is he the DM?
No, he's the right wing. He's right wing as well. And when he's on his game, Dario Osorio.
Oh, yeah.
And when he's on his game, which he actually quite often is, he is absolutely brilliant. He's one of those talents where you can see he can move past the Danish Superliga, but not just to the Eredivisie or maybe above into the Premier League. He could go right to the very top. His finishing is absolutely brilliant, as well as his close ball control with dribbling. Great prospect in there. I would love if we signed him, to be honest.
Well, we'll have to do a scouting show in the future, all about Danish talents, because we've got the expert here. All right, Andres, mate, thanks for calling in. Much appreciated as always. We'll see you very soon on the channel. Sure. Cheers, mate. Thank you so much. LCFC_doc if anybody wants to follow Andreas on Twitter. Right, that is the end of the show. Zach was here, but now he's gone. So I don't know where he's gone. So we'll end it there. Anil, caller of the day. For me, I'll go first. I'm going to give it to... I don't know. George, because he, like, I think I said it about someone last week, Barry last week. George reached out to me and asked if he could come on. He asked for me to send him the link privately. I sent him the link and he joined. So I'm going to give it to George.
He was good. I was going to go between him and Tom, but I'll support it with George.
Lovely stuff. George is the caller of the day. Right. That's the end of the show. So thanks to all of the callers. Thanks to all of the commenters. Much appreciated. We appreciate you all on the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. What is coming up on the channel this week?
Fox's Den on Wednesday at an earlier time, I've been told.
6:30.
Yeah. But you know what? Let's look back at that Brighton game Thursday at 7 o'clock. I'll do that for you as well. So we'll do the match analysis of that one, because I think there were some improvements we saw there. Fair play. I did see earlier. Scott was saying he didn't think we were the better team. I can sort of buy that, but I'll show you the things that I think we did well to contain Brighton largely. And look, it did finish as a Desmond 2-2, so that's why I'm backing them. Anyway, Fox's Den on Wednesday. That's the next time you'll see us on the old blue tinted glasses.
6:30 p.m. Wednesday, Fox's Den. Thanks, everyone. Much appreciated. We'll see you then. Cheers. Bye-bye. Bye.